Hello, NuPIC, and happy Halloween. Welcome to the NuPIC Development Progress Review. We haven't done this in over a month now, so we've got a few things to go over. And we've all been really busy over the past few weeks, so it's not, we haven't gotten a whole ton of things done. So I'm going to jump in and share my screen, and we will start with the roadmap. So some of you may have not seen this before. It's something new that I recently created. But I've broken up tasks currently into two milestones, one called somewhat arbitrarily alpha, and then one below called beta. So the idea being hopefully we'll be moving to a release process at some point in the future, and I wanted to line that up so that we're sort of in the habit of collecting feature sets and drawing a line somewhere in the sand at some point in the future. So we're starting with alpha. There's a bunch of tickets here in alpha. We're not going to go over all of them, but I'm going to go over at least these super tickets, and then we're going to do a review of the open PRs. So up in this top right, I'm going to click this more detail button, and this will give us all of the tickets within each of these super tickets, or what they're called, initiatives on this page. So we have one big initiative that just collects a bunch of general build improvements that we've all sort of agreed need to be done at some point. So it would be great if we could clean this up and get this done within the alpha milestone. You might also note there's a date, which is the end of the year, calendar year. That's a due date for alpha. I don't know how solid that is. I just kind of guessed at that. So that's definitely subject to change. Up in the top right, it says we have 9 out of 67 tickets currently completed. So there's kind of a progress indicator on the milestone itself, and then each one of the initiatives also has a progress indicator. So we've got one for general build improvements. I'm not going to go over each and every one of these, but you can see them here. And then I have a couple of kind of generic catch-all buckets for bug fixes or bugs that are important enough, I think, to be fixed within this alpha release, and then new features that are currently either being worked on or important enough to be included in this release. I don't know if I'm going to continue doing this, but I wanted not to have a whole bunch of dangling issues that aren't attached to anything, so that they will all sort of show up on this roadmap if you expand them all. Ideally, I would be able to group this in under subjects a little bit better. But for now, this is what I've done. We also have a super ticket for creating a pure C++ implementation of temporal memory. We've got this in 2 phases. Phase 1 is in alpha, phase 2 is down in beta, and I think Chayton is currently working on this. And then we are still trying to get our builds updated to C++ 11. We're having some issues with SWIG. So that's still an initiative that's ongoing. Sorry, some of these GitHub icons aren't showing up. This is assigned to Scott Purdy. But this is the platform-independent model serialization. This is also a phase 1, which is the implementation of the new technique and deprecating the old technique. And then we have another general initiative to improve our unit testing framework, headed by Yuten Sol Song. And he's done a lot of work on this, and we still have a lot more work to do on it. So I won't go over beta except to say that the phase 2 of the TM implementation and the phase 2 of the serialization, which is to create a conversion utility and remove the old serialization, those are going to be beta initiatives. Okay, so this gives us at least an idea of what I think, or we think we should be working on or trying to get done by December 31st. If and I think for the purpose of this meeting, I would like to focus on tasks that are within this milestone. There are some other tasks, many of them community created tasks for certain things that people want that may not be included in an alpha in one of these milestones, but may still get worked upon and completed, and that's fine. But for the purposes of our planning and progress review, I would like to try and stick to looking at the current milestone we're in and focusing on getting that done. Okay, so let's move to our waffle board, which is our issue board at the moment. Start over here on the right. So these are our, I'm just looking at, again, the issues that are within alpha. So a lot of this is going to be PR review. There are a couple of PRs here that are ready to be reviewed and are just sitting waiting for review. One by Mark that's exposing anomaly parameters into swarming, and then another that's a fix, something in a knit function. I don't know exactly sure what this is, but CLA model, a knit function. So these are passing the build anyway, and they just need to be reviewed. And they've been around for a while, so this one was marked as ready 26 days ago. The anomaly parameters exposed was marked as ready. Well, it's not actually. Yeah, it's ready 17 days ago, 18 days ago. So these are things that are kind of low-hanging fruit. We could get these merged if we got them reviewed. And they're both community PRs, so the longer they sit, the worse relationship we have with those guys. So there's those two. Initially I've just tagged Scott and said, hey, if you don't have time for this, let's talk about who should be reviewing it. So we can talk about those offline, but I'd like to get them reviewed. And now we also have a bunch of blocked issues. Most of these, well, the first few are PRs. So I at least want to run through these, at least identify why they're blocked. Here's one that encoders inherit more from the encoder class. Another one by Mark. And the issue here is the build is failing. So this is in Mark's court, although he doesn't know how to fix it. He's tagged this with help wanted, hoping someone will come along and help him out. So this is an open issue, and it's just sitting there not building. So there is an issue with that, and hopefully somebody might take some interest in it. The next one is adding new SB compatibility test. This is nothing. This is adding a test that fails. And so there's, sorry about the awful scrolling, but there's another issue that says to basically make the fix that will make the test pass, and that's being worked in another place. So I'm not too concerned with this issue that creates a new test. It's great to add a new test that should pass and is failing, but we can't merge it until we get the fix in place, and the fix is somewhat low priority for us, and I think that the fix is in Mark's court once again. Yeah, he's working on this. Okay, so Mark's been busy lately. I have not seen him around a lot, so a lot of these things that are depending on Mark might still just have to sit around for a while until he gets some time to work on things. Adding the test for decomposability. This is the related to the unit test, I believe, the unit test failure Mark added that I was talking about. So it is currently blocked by another issue, which is the one that we just referred to. So again, Mark's court, and this was it's a bug that Mark brought up, that temporal anomalies are ignoring unfulfilled predictions. Subutai, you and Mark went around about this. I'm not sure I understand the issue, but the result of it is that it's blocked by some other issue, which is the same issue we just talked about. So there's a lot of things leading down the same path that ends in Whoops. Where is it? Now I can't find it. This other issue, which was add test for decomposability. So again, we're holding on Mark. And these issues are things that he found and he came up with, and nothing is really broken for us. Everything still works as far as we're concerned for the needs of Dementa. So if these things have any community involvement to get fixed, that's great. As soon as some PRs are created that pass the build, we'll try and get them reviewed as quickly as we can. Okay, so let's go on to in progress pull requests. These are pull requests that are being worked on, but they are not tagged as ready yet. Most of them don't have builds that are actually passing. This one has been around for a very long time. Well, maybe not. September 13th? I thought it was around longer than that. And it is still sitting in Mark's court. The SWIG issue pull request is still open. I think this is an important one to work on. But I don't know what the status of it is. Again, Mark's been working on it, and he's been MIA for a while. So we'll have to catch up with him when he gets back. Mark, if you're watching, we'd love to catch up with you. There's also this PR open to close out the C++ switch on NuPIC core, and this just got a little commentation today. So Scott and Austin were talking about switching out libyaml CPP with just libyaml instead. So Scott, you said you might try and do that. That would be awesome. I would love to get this merged.
Yeah, we're not doing that anymore.
You're not doing it anymore. Another idea for it?
Austin and I spent some time on this, and Austin got the NuPIC core working on OSX. Although it still isn't building Travis, and I don't know how to reduce that error, but it's really
okay. So it's still up in the air. Would one of you guys update the ticket, please, so we know there's not like a solution being created at the moment? Okay, Chaitin is working on these two issues, which is kind of, from what I understand, paving the path for new temporal memory algorithms, and those are open works in progress. And Chaitin, do you have anything you want to say about that? Otherwise, I can skip it.
It's just a C++ data structure that will allow for implementing much faster algorithms, starting with temporal memory, and then later temporal pooling.
Great. Okay. Speeding up code is always good. So the anomaly call likelihood PR has been around for a while, and again, it's back in Mark's court. So those are currently open PRs, in progress, blocked, and ready. Other than those, we've got a bunch of tickets on sitting in alpha, ready to be worked upon. I think those are the main things that I wanted to go over. I wanted to make sure everybody had some visibility over all the PRs, because there are quite a few open PRs right now, and a lot of them have been open, a month, 2 weeks. So I just hate seeing PRs sitting around for that long. But otherwise, what, if anything, does anyone else have to share while we're all here in the same virtual room?
There's been doing some work on the nav repository, so you'll see some activity there as well. That's progressing.
Okay, good. Anything else, guys? Okay.
Video?
Yeah, I can see Austin's is dressed up for Halloween. I can't figure out how to get one on me.
He's virtually dressed up. Right.
Very nice. It looks good on you. Any feedback on the roadmap? The one thing about the roadmap is I really have to keep on new tickets when they're created and make sure they're categorized properly. One thing I'm concerned about is not going over what's in the current milestone in these meetings, though that might leave a few things off to the side that don't get discussed. But I would like to get into the habit of focusing on what's in the milestone we're currently in, so we can get that done. And if there are things that aren't in that milestone, that's a discussion we should have on the mailing list about whether it should be in the milestone or not. But I'm open to any discussion about that process.
It seems like a few of the milestones are, like the general build improvements thing is kind of a grab bag for a whole bunch of stuff. It's not really a technically defined milestone per se. It seems like some stuff in there could be really important and others could be less important. It's not like there's a particular goal that we're shooting for. We could be making build improvements for the next 5 years. So that's
yeah, that's true.
A theme around the end December milestone that you're thinking of?
I think there's probably some themes we could extract out of that just general build improvements milestone, and maybe group it a little bit better. So yeah, I'll take a step at that. But yeah, in any case, I'm not crazy about just having a super issue for general new features for a milestone or general bug reports for a milestone. I want to find something better. So I'll be working on that, and it sort of fits in the same category as what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's like general alpha bug fixes and general new alpha features. They're kind of sort of wishy-washy things.
Right. Okay, good point, and I'll see what I can do about it. Otherwise, there's nothing else. I wish you all a happy Halloween.
You too. Bye.
Thanks, Matt.
All right, take care.